I am not a perfect photographer. I do make mistakes. One of those mistakes is shooting overexposed. I have an overexposed photo right here. Now, it is a portrait that I shot during one of my street photography shoots. And as you can see, it's quite overexposed. So today I'm gonna show you how to kind of save the photo when it's overexposed. And we're gonna be doing this in Lightroom using my Moody preset. In the end, we're gonna be transforming the photo from this to that. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Samuel and this is Newman Photograph. On this channel, I create photography content. If that is something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any other videos. Now, the channel is growing. We have surpassed 1,000 subscribers a few days ago. Thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting me. So yes, in case you didn't know, I do have a Lightroom Moody preset, which we're going to use in this video and which I use a lot on my channel. Now, if you want to get this preset, you can use the first link in the description below to get it. Now, this preset will help you to elevate your photos to another level and really transform them and sort of bring them to life. Now, I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to show you in this video what it's going to do to this photo. Now, I have created a playlist with all of the videos that I've done on this channel using this Moody preset. So if you're still on the fence about it or you want to see a little bit more of what it can do, then make sure to check out that playlist. There will be a link in the description. Okay, enough yapping. Let's start editing. So here I am in Lightroom, and as you can see, this portrait that I shot is very overexposed. Now, something that I could have done on this day is either one, raise my aperture. As you can see right here, it was shot at f1.4 on my 85 millimeters. So I could have dropped down to say 2.8 or even f4, but I wanted to have that blurry background. So this is why I stayed at f1.4. Alternatively, what I could have done is shoot at a higher shutter speed, but I didn't do any of those, and it's okay if you didn't either because I was shooting in RAW. Now, this is a great tip. Always shoot your photos in RAW because if this was a JPEG, there's no way I would have been able to save the file and to recover the details in the overexposed parts. But since this is a RAW file that I shot in RAW, if I lower the exposure, you can see that we can recover some of those details. So don't shoot in JPEG. Always shoot in RAW. Okay, so before I apply the preset, I'm just gonna reframe it a little bit. I like to have the third horizontal line just line up on the eyes. So I'm gonna do it just like that. And now I'm gonna apply the Moody preset and watch what happens. So now we've applied the Moody preset. So let's do a before and after so we can really see what it's doing. Okay, so we've got a before and after. Now, as you can see, the Moody preset did a lot of work for us, but there still is some work that is left to do. And this is what I always preach about in this channel, right? Whenever you use a preset, don't just use it and export the photo, right? Always go in and make some further adjustments to the photo. Maybe lower the exposure, raise the shadows, whatever you want to do, just make sure that the preset works well for your particular photo. Now, looking at this one right here, it has decreased the exposure a bit, but we're gonna decrease it further, right? As you can see, the greens are a lot more muted because it is a Moody preset, right? So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to decrease the exposure and watch what happens. Boom, as you can see, we're recovering a lot of details and a lot of information in the photo. For example, her arms, her face, they're not as blown out as they once were. And we're gonna do this even more by decreasing the highlights and the whites. Boom. Now the photo is no longer overexposed. So what we are gonna do now is we're going to bring back some details in the shadow by raising the shadows, like this. Perfect. Obviously, we're not gonna stop here. This is the base of the photo, right? We applied the Moody preset and we did some minor tweaks. What I'm gonna do next is that I'm going to use masks to bring back some light in the photo. In case you're new here, the way I like to do this is by first of all, darkening the background, and then I create a radial gradient on the face to brighten the face, and then I duplicate and invert that same mask to darken everything around the face, right? And then I like to sharpen the eyes, whiten the teeth, and smoothen the skin. In the end, the face becomes the brightest part of the image. The teeth are nice looking and the eyes are tack sharp. So if you're still a little confused, don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how this is done. So first things first, I'm going to select the background. Now, the background is dark enough right here. I don't think I'm going to darken it that much, but I'm still gonna lower it a little tiny bit, say negative 0.1, something subtle like this. Again, guys, with these settings, especially with the masks, it's easy to get carried away. So you always want to be gentle and don't overdo it with the effects. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a radial gradient and cover her face like that. Then I'm gonna raise the exposure and watch what this does. This brings back some light on her face. Perfect. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate and invert that same mask and do the opposite. This time I'm going to decrease the exposure. And you know what? I'm also going to decrease the blacks. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on select people and I'm gonna create a couple of masks, right? One on her teeth, one for her face, and then one for her eyes. Okay, so starting with the face, what I'm gonna do is, first of all, zoom in here so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go down to the texture and then I'm gonna lower the texture. Again, don't overdo it or it will start to look unnatural. Then I'm gonna go up to the shadows and raise those. Actually, I might just raise them all the way like this. Perfect, so this is before. And this is after. Now with the YouTube compression, you might not be able to see a big difference, but if you're following along with this tutorial and if you're trying this out for yourself with the Moody preset, you can see that it's actually doing quite a bit of a difference. So then what we're gonna do is go on with the teeth, okay? And for the teeth, what I usually do is decrease the saturation, perfect. And then raise the whites, something like that should do, perfect. And that's all we're gonna do for the teeth. Now, the teeth, I don't really like to overdo it, right? And what I love about the masks in Lightroom is because you have this amount slider right here. So you can use this to control the intensity of the effect. For example, if I raise it all the way, right, it intensifies the effect of the teeth and it makes it look a lot weirder, right? And if I decrease it, then it completely disregards every effect that I applied to the teeth. I like to leave it in the middle, but just know that you have this amount slider here to use to control the intensity of the effect if you want to. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to the eyes, raise the shadows. Watch what happens to the eyes. I'm gonna raise the whites a bit, just like that. Now her eyes aren't opened all the way, so we're not gonna see those details as much, but I still like to do it so that they're still sharp, even though you can't see them fully. I'm gonna go down to the texture and I'm gonna raise this all the way. And by raising the texture, it makes the eyes a lot sharper. Now let's compare with and without the masks. So this is without the masks and this is with the masks. Let's do a final before and after as we usually do for these videos. Boom. Oh my God. Here's a couple things to keep in mind, okay? The only reason why we were able to bring back so many detail in her skin and we were able to save the photo even though it was overexposed is because we shot in RAW. So don't forget this, always shoot in RAW. And the other thing to keep in mind is that the Moody preset did most of the work for us. Again, all we had to do is lower the exposure, raise the shadows a bit, lower the highlights, right? Just normal things that you should be doing anyway, right? Whenever you use a preset. And then we use the masks to elevate the photo even further, just one step further. And now, as you can see, there's much more life into the photo, right? It looks so much better. You can actually see her eyes, you can see her skin, right? The background is not distracting at all. And the colors are just beautiful. Her skin tone is looking perfect. I mean, look at this. This is the Moody preset. And if I've managed to convince you to get it, well, you can use the first link in the description below. Now, if you like my channel, you like my photography, and you like my editing style, and you want to support me, this is a great way to do it. And I really, really, really appreciate it. And I also appreciate everyone that has already been using it and that have been giving me feedback about it. I also want to thank those that have been posting their photos on Instagram with the Moody preset. And if you want to do this, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure to tag me so that I can see what amazing edits you guys are creating. So this is it. This is the before and this is the after. I just really love editing portraits, right? Ever since I created this Moody preset. I literally can't stop myself from using it, and I thought I had to share this with you guys. So if you want to know more about the Moody preset, I've created a whole playlist where you can watch all the videos and all the photos that I've used it on. Again, if you want to get it, first link in the description below. You can also click here to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Stay creative, keep creating. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.